welcome, baby. This is Alterri Henri, man. And today we're going to be talking about the 10 uh, commandments of the business world. 10 commandments of the business world. I want to talk to you and kind of give you an insight on what you need to do to be successful. People ask me all the time, how are you successful? What did you do to get here? What do I need to do to become like you, so to speak? First of all, I want to say I want you better than me. I don't want you to be like me. I want you better than me. I got where I am now, and it took me 17 years. I want to say that, 17 years. If you listen to Master P's story, he said it took them 20 years before he got where he got, okay? I started off in an age, and I'm not even old, I'm 47, but I started off in an age when we didn't have social media. We didn't have a lot of things. We didn't even have cell phones when I first started. We had pagers. So we started off with pagers, and whenever you did a pager, they had to page you. You had to stop off at a payphone, and yada yada yada. And then we used to advertise in the phone books, or we used to advertise on the big billboards when you passing down the freeways, and different things like that. So we had a whole different age. So what took me 17 years to do could take you 7 years to do, could take you 7 months to do. So if you really focus your mind on your business and do what you got to do, what took me 7 years, like I said, could literally take you 7 months. And so I want to start off by saying the first commandment in business, the first commandment above all things is communication. You need to have proper communication. The Bible says, let your nay be nay and let your yea be yea, meaning that do what you say you're going to do, implement it, plan it. If I tell you I'm going to be there at 9 o'clock, and that's part B. That's the number 2 commandment. I'm going into it a little early, but if I tell you I'm gonna be there at 9 o'clock, be there at 9 o'clock. Be there at 8:30. That's the problem I'm noticing right now with this generation is that they're never on time. Nobody's never on time. Everybody is always late. My grandma had a saying. She said, "You're gonna be late to your own funeral." It's like you're always late. You're never on time, and people. That's in business. If you really want to get around people with money and that's doing something, like multimillionaires, they are all about being on time. I deal with multimillionaires. I had a friend of mine, Mr. Dross. I'll just say it like that. I ain't gonna call it first name, but he's worth about $800 million. And I learned a lot from this man. And he'll tell you, communication is key and being on time. If you don't have those two things above anything else that you have, you will never be successful. You have to have those two things before I give you the whole laundry list of whatever else you need. Communication. If I tell you I'm going to do something, do it just like you say you're going to do it. Don't give more than you said. A lot of people say, well, I'm going to over-deliver. How is I'm going to over-deliver. I'm going to over-promise or something and over-deliver. I don't know how it go, the saying. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But people want to do more. If I ask you to go to the store and get me a Mountain Dew, then go to the store and get me a Mountain Dew. Don't pick up no Reese's Pieces and come and, well, I figured you needed this. I didn't ask you for that. I asked you to do something, learn how to follow directions the way that I asked you to do it. And that's the same way you're going to do in business. Don't try to give more, and you find yourself out of business because you're just starting. You give what you say you're going to do. Do exact. People will be proud of you and happy with you doing exactly what you said, because so many people veer off from what they say they're going to do. They don't do what they say they're going to do. So just the fact that you are accomplishing what you said you were going to do makes me happier than anything in the world, because I deal with so many people that don't do it. They show up, they want to use my tools. I'm talking about my floor guys or my plumbers. They show up, I got tools in the garage. They want to use my tools. You are the professional. I'm calling you to do a job. Have your own tools. So, okay, number 1 is communication. Number 2 is be on time. Like I said, you need to be on time. Don't be late to the job or whatever you're going to be. Don't be late. Number 3 is know your numbers. You need to know your numbers. Don't come to me and you done told me that you're going to change my roof and the roof is going to cost $10,000, but then you realize you got in a snag and you underbid it, and now you want to change the course of action and tell me I need $15,000. No, sir. That's going to make you bad in business. I'm going to tell you something. and I'm being clear as I can with you. Back in the day, I had a company, and we did almost $3 million a year. Had a company, I did almost $3 million a year. This was in the beginning of the social media stage. I was young. I was about 30 years old, 33 years old. I was cocky because, making all this money, I'm young, got the big mansion sitting on 3 acres in Louisiana, the whole 9 yards. So I'm feeling myself. So my guys had gotten to it, a discrepancy of business with this white lady that we was doing business for. Now, at the time, I didn't know much about social media. She had about 60 to 80,000 people back in 2010, probably. I don't know how long it was, but it was way back then when social media was just coming to play. She had about 15,000 people. About 80,000 people. And my guys fell out with her. So I'm arguing with the lady. I'm like, well, my guys, I'm taking my guy's side, and the customer is always right. But I'm taking my guy's side, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Make a long story short, that lady put me out on social media and destroyed me. A multi-million-dollar company, man, I didn't get another phone call in like 5 months. I had to call this woman back and apologize to this woman and make it right, and for her to take her witchcraft spell up off of me. That's what I call it. Social media is witchcraft spell, because you did something wrong. You got arrogant. The Bible says that pride comes before a man fall. Your pridefulness, your cockiness, your arrogance, your unwilling canning to negotiate. You think you got it all together. Guess what? Your pride will be your downfall. Look at the company called Turkey Leg Hut. $30 million a year. And now, $30 million a year. He's in jail, on his way to prison. He done lost his wife. The business is no longer there. This is a local business in Houston that's worldwide. Turkey Leg Hut. Y'all know about it. Oyster Hut. That's a second spinoff of Turkey Leg Hut, making millions of dollars, $30 million a year. But his pride caused him to lose everything. So my pride for my business back then caused me to lose a multi-million-dollar business, because I could not shake back from that 5-month disdain that woman put on my life that I caused. The problem is we want to blame everybody else. No, I caused the problem that allowed me to lose a multi-million-dollar business, and I had to start over from scratch, and I had to do things the right way to build myself back up. That took me about 2 or 3 years. So we have to learn that we're in a different age now. This ain't the age where I call up this person and call up this person, and next thing you know, it takes a while to bad news travel fast. And because bad news travels so fast, good news don't have time to put their pants on by how bad news travel. So with that being said, you're going to offend the wrong person. I went to a movie theater, and if you look back at my page, you'll see I went to a movie theater. This was probably about 8 months ago, and I saw a girl sipping a drink to tell what the drink was, and I posted it. And I promise you, I got 1 million views in like 2 days behind that. And the owner of the company, I won't say the name because we work things out, the owner of the company called me from the movie theater that owns like a bunch of movie theaters all over. The owner called me and worked things out with me, wanted me to pull the video down, which I did, pull the video down, and gave me a year's supply of free movies where I can watch free movies with my family or whatever for a whole year, and I get all the food free. So I still got to the end of this year to be able to go whatever movies I want to see and do it free. You know what I'm saying? So, I bounced back from the bad review. By being a man of my word. And I'm finna go to step number 4, but being a man of my word, the communication. Once again, I had to go to that person and apologize. Ma'am, look, at the time, I had to make up a story. At the time, ma'am, first of all, it took a while to contact her. But I thank God for it, because it taught me a valuable lesson, not just in my spirituality about humbleness, but it also taught me a valuable lesson that you don't know who you're playing with. Like, for instance, when I put it out there, I got 1 million views. This is in 2025, versus her in 2010, I had the same tactic, the same type of power now, where I got to be careful at what I do because I can destroy somebody's business. The man was really nervous and he gave me whatever I wanted because he wanted me to pull that video down. Well, there's people out there just like that, and they have power and they're not under the Christian authority I'm under. They're going to use their power to destroy you. They're using their power for witchcraft reasons. And so the bounce back was the communication. I had to communicate. I had to apologize. I had to take the umber road, the low road, and apologize to her and get myself done the right way and all these things. I had to be a man of my word and on time and the whole 9 yards with what I said I was going to do, so in all of that. So that's the whole key of doing what you say you're going to do and being what you say you're going to be. Then I got to know my numbers. Then I got to know my opponent. I got to know all the things that I'm going to do in business. I got to know them. I got to know my opponent. I want to know who am I battling, who am I against. I want to start a moving business or a restaurant. I need to know who I'm against because everybody don't play fair. Some people will send people into your establishment, and I used to have this with me all the time. I was competing against an active restaurant, and they would send people in my establishment to order food from my restaurant, pay for the food, then write a bad review. So you got to remember who your opponent is in whatever you're doing, because some people play so dirty, and believe it or not, in order to clear that one bad review, it'll take you about 20 reviews posted online to clear one bad one. Remember, social media, the television, all of these things are known as satanic tools. Think about it. It's a satanic tool. It's not a godly tool. You say, what you mean by that, Pastor Henry? Well, it's a satanic tool because why do you benefit me so much by negativity, but if I do a good review or if I say something good, it goes on the back page of the newspaper? Think about it. They'll put out there all in lights and all on camera that you molested somebody. And it's all over everything. You're a molester, you're a rapist, you're a no good crook, you whatever. And then you get a lawyer to prove it wrong. And you get proven innocent by a group of your peers, by a judge, whatever. And then they take that apology and they put it on the back page. How come you didn't put my apology in the videos and all that on the same front page that you put me on when you was accusing me? So with that being said, it's all a tool of the devil, the media. So you got to realize what you're dealing with. We utilizing it for good things. I'm utilizing it to show my gifts. I'm utilizing it to show us baptizing people. I'm utilizing it to show all these things. But I'm never taken away from the fact in my memory that this thing could all go away in a bad way if the devil wanted it to. So we talked about communication. We talked about being on time. We talked about knowing your numbers. Now we're talking about knowing your opponent. So you got to know your opponent. Okay. Number 5, marketing. A lot of people don't even know how to market. I deal with so many people that want to open up a business. Everybody want to be a business owner. But I ask them, who is their target market? How much do it cost for you to acquire a customer? They have no clue of what I'm talking about. If you sell plate lunches and the plate lunches is $25, then the amount that it takes to acquire a customer is the cost of that plate lunch, the cost of them spaghettis, the cost of them candy yams, the cost of them red beans and rice, the cost of them grits. Whatever you put on that plate is a cost, plus the plate, plus the plasticware, plus the bag, plus the marketing, plus the person. If it took them 1 minute and they make $15 an hour, you divide that $15 an hour over that minute, and it tells you they made 36 cents in that minute. Whatever it takes, all of that is added up in one number, and that's what it took you to acquire a customer. You may sell that plate for $25, but after you add everything up, then you may only made $3.50. Because in the restaurant business, the key factor of making money is always 15% in the restaurant business. You don't make a lot of money in the restaurant business. Don't get it twisted. That's why people have so many franchises. I have a buddy in Louisiana, in Lake Charles, Louisiana. He owns about 6 franchises. Well, each franchise make about $1 million to $1.5 million. He only take home about 100 to 150,000. So you have to understand that you don't make a lot of money in the restaurant business. You don't make a lot of money. So we're talking about the numbers on stuff. So when you're talking about the numbers, you need to know your numbers, okay? If you're going to open up a business, before you open up that business, you need to know what tax bracket are you in. You don't even know your tax bracket. You may be in a 36% tax bracket, which means every dollar you make, if you don't have a trust fund and you're running this thing through your trust and all these other things like a lot of people don't have, every dollar you make, you deduct 36 cents from that dollar. Every dollar you make, deduct 36 cents. Some trucking companies have a 50-cent tax bracket, which means every dollar you make, and that's normally for a trucking company, every dollar you make, you're going to pay 50 cents. So if you make $1 million that year, $500,000 going to go in taxes. Because you probably don't even know what to do with the money, so you cannot pay taxes. So, and I can go on and on with this, but, so when you're talking about opening a business, I need you to know your numbers more than anything. Know what line you fall in, not just your tax numbers. What about your resale tax numbers? What about your workman's comp? You might be required workman's comp. There's people right now in the trucking industry that can't even operate their truck correctly because the insurance done went through the roof. You know that I have a buddy with 2 18-wheelers, and he used to pay like $30,000 a year, and it jumped up to $80,000 a year now. $80,000 a year to do insurance. And I'm asking one of my people, the insurance for the roadside assistance used to be how much?
It was about 38,000.
38,000. What they asking now?
Oh no, that's what they're asking.
Yeah.
Now it used to be under 20.
It used to be under $20,000 a year. It's $38,000 now. $18,000 difference this year. No 18-wheeler. This is a pickup truck. This is a pickup truck with no trailer, just to do roadside assistance, bringing people gas, changing tires, battery jumps. $38,000 a year to operate that business. I got a buddy with 2 18-wheelers, and they want $80,000 a year. The masses are trying to drive you out of business. I remember in 2010 being in the moving business, and they took us in Louisiana. They took us all to court because the big boys was complaining that we were taking too much food from their table. We were underbidding them. We were beating them, driving them out. So they came up with a whole legislation. Remember this, the big boys are tied to the politicians. You're not. You don't make enough money to tie to the politicians. So the big boys had a whole legislation set up to where we had to come to their level now. So they had about 11 companies in Lake Charles. About 9 of them went out of business. I was just so blessed to have some money to where I was able to afford it. We had to get the same insurance that the major companies had. The same insurance that Mayflower had, that Allied had, that all these major companies had. I had to get the same insurance they had. So I went from paying $2,000 a month in insurance to $10,000 a month in insurance just to stay in business. But it was the best thing ever happened to me because by them making me, forcing me, remember that, they forced me to be on the big boy level. Now I could drive my prices up. Now when I'm going bid, I'm not bid. I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm trying to get you because I'm going fast because I got these 10 commandments. You need to write this down or remember this. Before I got on the big boy level, I was bidding cheap because I was a small company, like some of y'all small companies. You're bidding because you have to stay afloat. You need that money. Let me tell you something. I underbidded myself tremendously. I had a military job. They wanted us to move a whole brigade, and it was the whole platoon, and we had to move it. And it took me 3 weeks to move it, and I bidded $68,000. I was happy. $68,000. I stood to make about 30 in 3 weeks. Remember, I was broke back then. I didn't have the money, so to make 30,000 in 3 weeks was gonna change my life. When I got that money after the job, I bought me a basketball court, had it built behind my house, got me a 5-car garage. Like, I really did some things for that 30 grand because I had never had 30 grand all at once. I was happy. Well, let me make you laugh at something. The lowest bid above mine, I was at 68,000 and I won the bid. The lowest bid above mine was $256,000. I could have bid at 250,000 and still won. But I bid at 68 because I was so used to being a small-minded company that I didn't know how to bid like the big boys. So the big boys, like these big dealerships, they got massive dealerships. People say, well, you taking trackers off. Man, look, let me tell you something. And I'm going to go to step number 5. I owned the dealership, okay? And in the process of owning the dealership, you would go right now, buy a car. I'm coming to you as a salesman, and I'm going to tell you, you know what you trying to put down? You going to tell me what you're trying to put down? I'm going to say, well, what are you trying to be on interest rate? And you say, man, if I can get me about, man, I don't know, give me the lowest interest rate you can get me. So I'm going to call up the finance company, and I'm going to run your numbers, and the finance company going to say, well, we want to give them 3%. So I'm going to come back to you, and I'm going to be like, man, they offering you 6%. And you're going to be like, nah, I'm finna leave. Nah, that's too high. I'm going to say, well, look, if I can get you 4.5 to 5%, would you sign for it? Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Remember, they wanted to give you 3%. I go back, I lollygag, I eat some food, I talk to my girlfriend, whatever it is I'm doing it. Then I come back to you, I say, well, man, because I sell so much cars, you know, I send all my business to them, man, they willing to give you 4.5%. You happy? Oh, yeah. You sign off on it. You all jolly. You don't even realize I just hit you with an extra 1.5 for something that they wouldn't even gonna give you. And vice versa. My family member come in, they want to give them 5% interest rate. I say, well, man, you know, I sent all my cars to you, man. I need you to do me a favor. Okay, well, what you need, Mr. Henry? Well, man, I need the lowest you can go. Okay, well, what you want to do? Give them 3%. Okay, cool. I'll do it for you this time, but you owe me one. So remember, the last deal, I done up to the 1.5. They're going to make a whole lot more money. I'm going to make more money. This deal here, they're going to lower it because it's my family member. So it's all a game, man. It's a scam. It's the car business. It's a scam. So they're scamming you every chance you get. Then they're tacking on fees that's illegal. You got a desk fee. You got a washing fee for washing your car. You got a tracker fee. They're going to charge you to track you, which is illegal. You got all kind of fees. They're going to charge you. Take my girlfriend out to dinner tonight fee. I want to have sex with the little boy fee. I'm going to go to my false church and donate something to my pastor fee. You're going to pay all of these fees on your car, and you're going to take a car that they only paid $20,000 for, and when they done with the interest rates and the extra finance charges and everything, you're going to be paying $6,000 to $8,000, and you wonder why you're upside down. Dealerships are a scam. Not one, not two, every last one of them is a scam. I was in the business for 7 years. We scammed so many people, I got out the business because I just couldn't do it no more. I would sell you a car that I knew was raggedy, and I'll tell you that Martin Luther King used to own it. I didn't care. I didn't care. It was a hustle, and people are so gullible and they're so needy. Stop needing everything. Learn to focus on what you really, really need and stop wanting everything. Wanting everything gonna cost you your life. Let's go to the next one, number 6. Be careful now with hiring family. The worst thing you can do is hiring family and friends. I had an auntie that asked me to move her. I had the moving company going. She asked me to move her. I told her no. I called a homeboy. I let him move her. I don't do business with family and friends. I don't loan money to family and friends. You say, why? I'm finna explain it to you. I didn't move her, and I let my homeboy move her. He moved her, gave her a discount because she was my auntie, and she caused the biggest ruckus. Or he scratched this, or they didn't show up on time. She would have did that with me and my people, and then she'd have wanted me to do it for free because she's family. If you really a homeboy, that's why I love the guys I'm around now. I went to breakfast this morning, and we almost got in an argument of who gonna pay for the meal. That's the type of people I want to be around. I have a cousin named Peanut right now that we got to argue over who going to pay for what. He tell me, man, your money ain't no good around me. And I'm telling him the same thing, man, cuz I got you. So we sitting there for 5 minutes arguing over who gonna pay for what. That's the type of people you want to be around, not takers. You want to be around givers. Okay, let me explain something to you about takers and givers. You want to know about a relationship? If you a taker and your woman is a taker or your man is a taker, y'all gonna lose every time. You a lost cause as a taker. Now, if you're a giver and your woman is a taker, you are 50% gonna lose. Unless she change or he change, you're gonna lose. The relationship you wanna be in is a give-give. I'm a giver, she's a giver, we give, because the Bible says to give and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will God give it to your bosom. Not takers. Not the more you take, the more you're gonna receive. No, the more I give, the more I'm gonna receive. So I'm always giving. People say, well, man, I see you giving money at Walmart and Target. Yes, because I'm a giver. God give me so much stuff that I have to give it away. The Bible says that he opened up the windows of heaven and pour out blessings you won't even be able to receive. I want the Abraham's anointing. Y'all need to ask for the Abraham. When you pray tonight, pray for God to give you Abraham's anointing. You know what that is? Abraham was so anointed that he couldn't even accept everything he had. It was running over that people that was next to him that they wasn't even worthy to get the blessings, but they got blessed because they were close to the man. Lot picked, Abraham allowed him. He said, which land do you want? Lot picked the one that was pretty. So because of that, Lot picked the one that was pretty. Because of that, look what happened to him. He lost his wife. He got locked up, the whole 9 yards, and the same man that was blessed had to come and save him. The same man that was blessed had to come and fix his life. The same man that was blessed had to come back and get him out of bondage. So stop picking the things that's shiny and pick the things that's fruitful. We gonna have to get to the point, man, where we stop being greedy, man. And I'm trying to rush this thing because these are the 10 commandments of prosperity in business, man. I'm telling you my flaws and things I've messed up, and in the process, it's gonna get you to the next level in your business. Love. Let me see where we at. Love what you do. Okay. There's 3 things to do about business. Okay. There's 3 types of people in business. There's people that do what they do every single day, and they don't love it. They really hate what they do, but they do it because they need the money. They do it because they have to feed those children. They do it because they have to accomplish something in life. They got a goal. They know I'm not gonna work here forever. Like I talked to the girl this morning at IHOP. She said, well, I don't plan on working forever, but I'm gonna be here until I can figure it out. Okay, those are the type of people you don't want to be. You don't want to be the person that is working and they hate what they do, but they there. Okay? The second person you don't want to be. There's a lot of people, I use a school teacher for instance, they love what they do, but they don't make no money doing it. First person, hate what they do, but they make money doing it. The second person, love what they do, but they don't make no money doing it. You want to get to the point in life where you love what you do and you're getting paid to do what you love. Hardest part to get to. I'ma love it. When I wake up, I ask people this when they say, man, how can I be successful? The first thing I ask them is, what would you want to do every morning when you wake up that will have you so happy that you can't wait to wake up the next day? That's what you need to be doing. If you're doing something now just for convenience or for money, you're doing the wrong thing. I want to do what I wake up every day happy about doing. I'm doing that now. That's how the money is starting to flow so much more than it did before. People say, well, what do you do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm on social media. I'm helping people now. I'm giving back. I'm being a philanthropist. I'm giving to the community. I'm feeding the homeless. And God is providing more money than I ever had in my life. Doing absolutely, when I had the construction company, when I had the moving company, I had the detail shops, I had the restaurants, and I'm physically working in it, then I was killing myself. I was making money, but I'm killing myself working. Now I don't. I do exactly whatever I want to do. If I want to take a vacation, I take a vacation. If I want to go to the park, I go to the park. If I want to go pass out money in the mall, I go pass out money in the mall, and the money never stops. It keeps flowing because I'm doing finally what I always wanted to do. But back to what I said earlier, it took 17 years for me to get to where I need to get. 17 years for me to get to where I need to get. In the process of me getting to where I needed to get, in the process, remember, I wanted to give up. I wanted to throw in the towel. It's so much I wanted to do. You have to pick the right spouse, man. If for those who are married, everybody ain't married in business. For those who are married, you must pick the right spouse. I'm telling you, a woman has two abilities. Let me share this with you. She has two abilities, very, very powerful abilities. A woman has the ability to build you up, or she has the ability to tear you down. It ain't no in between. If you're going to work, trying to succeed in business, trying to do anything, and every 5 minutes she's calling your phone or he's calling your phone and bothering you and where you at and what you're doing, this and that, she's destroying you. But if you're going to work and open your business or whatever you're doing, and she's fixing your food and baby what you want, or he's doing, taking care, and he's allowing you, they're sowing into you instead of sowing from you and allowing you to prosper, that's the type of person you want in your life. Every time I fell short and I didn't believe in me, she believed in me. She would give me affirmations. Baby, I know you can do it. I watched you before fall. I watched you. I watched it not work for you, and you made it work. I don't know what you do, but God got you, man. Like, you need people around you who going to confirm you and give affirmations to you. When you don't believe in yourself, they believe in you, which causes you to believe in yourself again. That's that energy. You need energy people around you. That when my battery is going low, I got people around me that's going to sow into me and charge my battery up. I got people that's going to sow into me and they're going to make me feel like I need to feel. I got people that's going to sow into me and boost my confidence. I got people that's going to sow into me and make me understand that I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. It doesn't mean nothing about I'm a god or nothing. No, I'm just a regular man who make mistakes, but you believe so highly in me that that you make me believe I can't fail. That's the type of people you need around you. So every time I wanted to get, baby, I'm just gonna get a job, man. I'm tired of this. Man, this happened. Every time I wanted to give up, she would confirm me of who I am. And now, 22 years later, she don't want for anything. She kept enough crank in my back to keep me going. So now it benefits her whole life. Now, if I die, I tell people, and I'm telling y'all this, y'all should be this way. Now, if I die, she ain't got to never work again in her life. I'm not leaving her with debt. I'm leaving her with wealth. So if we die, for 17 and a half years as of right now, she will never have to work. I got it set up to where her and my kids will get $10,000 a month for the next 17 years. So I'm still healthy. So if I live another 10 years, I'm going to have it set up to where her and my kids probably going to get $20,000, $30,000 a month for the next 40 years. The longer I live and the more God confirms me, the more money I'm going to make, the more I'm going to sow into my family. Man, I'm going to go to the next one because I can go on and on with that one. I can preach that message to you. Don't waste too much time if you don't know what it is. Okay? Don't waste too much time. The problem what I know is with people, they lose everything they got because they realize that the business ain't working and that's all they had. They love that business. They just can't give it up. So they spent 6 months on a business trying to make it work when they only had 2 or 3 months worth of capital. They started a business. They had 3 months worth of capital they put aside to make it work, and it didn't work. So they're going to stay in that business for a whole year. They're going to remortgage the house. They're going to sell a car. They're going to take away from their kids' college funds. They're going to kill their whole lineage over a business that can be replaced. So they're going to kill things that cannot be replaced over a business that can be replaced. Man, I've done everything. I've had my first business. It might sound stupid to most of y'all, but it's funny to me. My first business when I was 17 that I tried to start was a reminder service. I wanted people to call in, and I tried to start it with church, but it didn't blow up. It didn't go nowhere. But hey, I thank God I tried it. I tried to remind people of weddings, birthdays. Now, of course, Google got it now where it's free. But this was when I was 17 years old. I wanted a reminder service. I remind you if it's your wife's anniversary, you never have to forget, and this and that. That was my first business. And then my second business was the moving company. So, I've did so much things. I had car lots, detail shops, 3 of them. What else? We had a daycare in Lake Charles on Preon Lake. We had a game room. I had a furniture store, 3 restaurants, 4 food trucks, 300 plates. If you Google 300 plates, or if you Google stuffed turkey leg king, that's my restaurant. You'll see my face pop up. The daycare was Alabaster Box, child care centers. I had so many businesses I can't even remember. We had a valet parking service downtown where we valeted cars. I had bought a lot and we was valeting cars. So I did so many things over the years. And what I'm saying all that to say to you is that the key word is I didn't stop. Because one business crashed or one business didn't make it, I didn't stop what I was doing. The momentum just pushed me to the next thing, and the partner I had pushed me to the next thing, and baby, just figure it out. I know you can figure it out. I know you ain't gonna lose. I can't lose with you. I ain't never met a man like you. Some of you men, I'm telling you, you marry the right woman, you get with the right woman. If some of you women that's watching, you saying, in your head, you may not say it, but in your head, you like, man, I wish my husband was like this. Well, think about it this way. How much do you affirm him? If you start affirming him and pushing him into his destiny, that man may become what you desire in your mind. He'll become what you desire. If you look at him and affirm him, there's a lot of women in business. If you can't affirm, I love this scripture. I'm going to say this scripture about you women. Paul said, I encourage myself. Everybody don't get a pat on the shoulder. Some of us have to encourage ourselves. Everybody don't have a spouse. Everybody don't have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever. So we have to just wake up and just encourage ourselves and tell yourself, I can do it. I got to pray. I can do it. Let me tell you something, and I'm going to go a little deep with you. Throughout the 17 years for you women and you men that's in business and want to be in business, throughout the 17 years that I've been in business, I can't tell you how many times that I would pull up to my house, and I know y'all finna feel this. I would pull up to my house because I got chills right now. And I would sit in my driveway and tears are pouring down my face before I go in the house because they don't know, my wife and the kids don't know that I'm down to my last $500. We got mortgage, we got bills, we got life. She talking about she want to go on a vacation. It's a small one to see the family out of town, but still. And I got $500, but she think we got $5,000. So I'm pouring, I'm crying, and I don't know how to tell them, but I'm not going to tell them. All I know is I'm like, God, whatever you going to do, you going to make it happen. So I used to cry on a regular. It's a book. I don't know who wrote it, but they say Men Cry in the Dark. Yes, we do. Well, I'm taking a shower and tears pouring. I'm in the shower and I'm taking a shower and I got to wipe my face and clear my nostrils and everything before I go in the house and pretend like life is okay. I got to pretend like it's good. I got to put my head up and tuck my shoulders and play with my kids and talk to my wife about my day as if everything is all good, knowing that we're dying. Man, look, I can tell you about business. I've had all the pitfalls you can have, and now you see me on the high road, and people see you making all this money. They're like, man, you millions. Man, you don't know what I went through. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna get a shirt that say this, and I want you to really get a shirt that say this. I want y'all to get a shirt. Instead of praying to have what somebody else have, Pray for God to take you through what he took them through to get it. They had a guy when I was in high school. His name was Kermit. He was the only guy in high school that had the Cadillac. He had the swingers. He had the clothes. He had everything. And me personally, we was broke. We was poor. So everybody was like, man, man, what are you doing? He's selling drugs, or I want to have. Well, what they didn't know, we found out later on, is that his mom and his dad had both passed away. The hot water heater had exploded. It blew up, and they died. And so he was living off a trust fund that his mom and dad and insurance money and all that the mom and dad had set up for him to live on. So instead of me complaining and begging God to get what he get, ask yourself, would I want my mom and dad to die for me to have something? So ask yourself, instead of crying about what they have, God, please take me through whatever you took them through to get it. You'll change your mind real quick. Let's go down to the next. The next one is never get big-headed. Never get big-headed about nothing. I told you earlier what happened to me in the multi-million-dollar business. The first one that I had, we did about $2.7 million a year, and it went down the drain like that. You know, all it takes, and I hope this really gets into your spirit, and I hope y'all share this too, because I want everybody to hear this. All it takes is for you to have a bad attitude with your business, think that you got it going on and cocky and arrogant or whatever. All it takes is 10 people with about 50 to 100,000 followers to go into your business, write a bad review, and crush you. That's all it takes. And that's the end of your saga. So always treat everybody with the most gracious spirit you can treat them with. Growing up in Louisiana, it taught me a lot. You can be dealing with somebody and have a bad attitude and want to fight them or whatever it may be and treat them bad or whatever. And what you don't realize in them country towns is that may be the district attorney's niece. So the city attorney may be her uncle. The judge that you're going to stand in front of may be her grandpa. So I learned a lot by living there that just be wise and well-doing. If you're doing okay, you may not be rich, but if you're doing okay, be wise and well-doing and treat everybody accordingly. I'm not going to treat you better because you're rich. I'm not going to treat you less because you're poor. That's why, and I'm going to touch on this before I go into the last one. That's why I said, when we open the church, I really don't want you doing no tithing and offering in the natural way where you putting it in slips and all these other things. No, sir. I don't want none of that. I want you to just put your money in cash in an offering plate. That way I don't know that Mr. Brian paid $10,000 and you paid $10 and I'll treat Mr. Brian better than I treat you because he paid more money in church than you do. No, I don't want to know who paid what. Get it to the church. And every month the church need to give you a slip of the bank account showing everybody what in that bank account and what we plan on doing with the money. That's not the pastor's money. That's not the money for the pastor to put his kids in private school. That's not the money for the pastor to buy him a big house or to buy him a jet, none of that. No, the church can take care of his flying engagements if he got to fly, if he got to preach or whatever, but that's not his money. Abraham say, bless me by the sweat of my hands that I can provide for my family. I want to work for my money to take care of my family like I've been doing. I ain't never got offering or collection or anything from the church. So pastors shouldn't get paid for the church. Paul said, I preach this thing freely without charge. So if we're going to take these offerings in churches, you need to, every month or every week or however you want to do it, you need to pass that bank statement to the people that's a part of your church that donates to the church, and you need to let them know, okay, now we have $100,000 in this account. We're going to buy a new church van. We have $100,000 in this account. We're going to donate. We're going to help Sister Caritha with her rent for the next 6 months. We got 100. We need to show the people what we plan on doing with y'all money. Not my money, not the church's money. This is the people money. Matter of fact, what was that? The Bible spoke about that in the scripture, in the Old Testament, which of course is all one book, but how they would bring the meat to the storehouse and they would set it in front of the priest. And the priest would distribute it amongst who? The people. He would set it amongst the people. He didn't distribute it amongst his family. He didn't distribute it amongst his kids, and his friends. He distributed what the people brought amongst the people to make everybody on an equal playing ground. So if you had $1,000,000 and you brought your 10%, this person had $10 and they brought $10 or whatever, well, by the time I distribute this out, everybody's wealthy, everybody's happy, it's a sad thing, man, and I'll say this before I go to the last step. It's a sad thing when when I was in the world selling drugs, we all had money. All of us was riding nice fancy cars. We all had the women. We all had the jewelry. How is it that the world can take care of their own, but we call ourselves saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, water baptized? We call ourselves just some decent people that have learned from the past, and we learned our lesson, and we want to live good and be prosperous, but yet the people around us is poor. The people around us don't have anything. Some of us have everything, but the people we hang with don't have anything. Make that make sense? Which brings me to how I'm gonna have to pay for everything. Like I told you earlier, I got people that's around me where we're arguing over who's gonna pay for what, because everybody's having everything. We're not all rich, but at the same time, we're not broke either. The last thing I want to say to you is always put God first in everything you do. And you can swap this around. It's 10 commandments. You can swap it around however you want to, but always put God first in your life. If you put God first in your business, then the Bible says that in everything you do, do it as unto God. So if you put God first in your business, you're operating as if you're working for God. As if what I'm doing right now, if I have a restaurant, I'm serving this plate of food for God. So if I'm operating in my business and I'm a plumber, then I'm doing plumbing for God. I'm treating people. It said what? Love thy neighbor as you would do yourself. If you love yourself, then you're going to do good. If you don't love yourself, you don't need to be in business. And I'm not talking about a prideful type of love. I'm talking about proud type of love. If you love yourself, then if you don't love yourself, then you don't need to be in business. I'm going to say that before I close. If you don't love yourself, you don't need to be in business, because you're going to treat others the same way you treat yourself. You say, what do you mean, Pastor Henry, about don't love yourself? Before I close, I'm going to say this. You want to be in business, right? I got guys that call me up, man, I sell food. I do food. I talk to a lot of guys and a lot of young and a lot of ladies. I want to do food. But they pull up here and their car's falling all apart, chicken bones, Pampers on the floor, car smelling like a pound of waste. But you want to serve food. Nails all dirty, skin dirty, clothes dirty, hair all nappy, digging in their hair. It just goes on and on. I can go on and on. But you want to serve food. I'm not buying your food. They got, one of my businesses I own, I'm investing in, is a food truck business. It's in Pasadena. We build food trucks. Okay? We see some of the nastiest food trucks you ever see in your life. I'm talking about, you got to remember, people, when you got food trucks, this stuff is bolted down. So it ain't like a restaurant. They can't just move this stuff around. So people will waste food between the compartments. They don't unbolt that and move that. That food be there growing mold and getting rats and roaches in food, and they use the same old grease and all that. Just like in a restaurant. I had 3 restaurants and I had 4 food trucks. So I'm gonna tell you the story. Y'all order them gumbos thinking y'all eating some fresh food. No, that is old chicken. They serve chicken, and whenever the chicken is old, instead of throwing that chicken out and put it in the trash, they debone that chicken, put it all down, and put that in a gumbo. So that's old chicken you eating in a gumbo. So don't get it twisted. And I can give you 1,000 other remedies on stuff that we did, in restaurants. I got buddies and people with restaurants now that they do with the old food that's not bad food, but it's not the fresh food from that day. It may be the food from the next day. So you got to make sure, man, that you doing the best work that you can do, because it's man, look, I ain't gonna touch on that, because some of you all want restaurants. I got people that want restaurants, and I'm gonna leave you alone. I don't want to give you no bad ideas. I want you to continue doing your thing. So what I will say is just be the best you can be in business. Put God first. Work towards what you're doing. And in everything you do, man, love your neighbor, man. Love the people you do business with. Have a smile about doing business. If you ain't gonna smile, I don't want you to serve me. You know what I'm saying? Love your people, man. Because guess what? If you don't love them, it's gonna come out in your skin. It's gonna come out in your pores, man. I can feel, people can feel when you don't really like them, or when you really don't want to serve them, or when you really don't want to be here, or whatever it is. People can feel the stuff coming out in your pores. So the 10 commandments, man, not the 10 crack commandments, the 10 business commandments. Let's learn that, man. Let's be successful. Let's be motivative, and let's keep going, man. Love y'all. Till next time, y'all tune in, and we'll holler at you.